Thanks for joining me on About Alberta Tech, which is focused on introducing Alberta tech companies to Albertans. Our goal is to share the innovation and diversity that exists in this province in quick bites. My name is Lenora Thomas, and I'm joined by Sam Jenkins, Managing Partner of Punchcard Systems. Thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me here.
And let's get started right away. Let's start with some background on you. How did you get into tech?
Well, let's see. My first kind of foray into the startup world was actually working for an organization in 1999. At that time, it was called Control F1. CF1 was eventually acquired by CA a couple of years later, but that kind of got my taste for startups. I had like a marketing role, and one of the things that was assigned to me was like, hey, we need a website. I was like, well, I can try and figure out how to do that. And that kind of launched the technology side of my career. But I think I've always been interested in kind of the nature of building things from scratch. And as startup entrepreneurs, that's kind of our day-to-day. Now, over the years, I've had the good fortune of working with like a lot of really, really interesting entrepreneurs. But it was, I guess it was, it's 2020 now. So in 2012, my partner and I, we were both working for a firm called Iomer, and we both left to start a startup called WellNext. And while that wasn't as successful as we would have liked, we earned some stripes on that, and that's what formed the early stages of Punchcard and where that organization came from.
That's awesome. And for those that are not familiar, what does Punchcard Systems do?
Sure. So we like to think of ourselves as a startup for startups. So we work with a lot of organizations to build the first or second version of their digital products. But effectively, our purpose is to help organizations build products and platforms that have the opportunity to change how we live, work, and play. And so we have some areas of practice that we're probably a little bit better suited than most to work in, primarily in kind of mobile and web and like really data-centric projects. And we work with a number of different startups, notable ones, like larger ones that are maybe a little bit more established, and small ones that are just getting started. We like to think that the enterprise clients that we get to work with are just kind of trying to get the startup nature unlocked within their businesses too.
Definitely. Is there any example that you can share with us as to a product that you've built?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the organizations that we're really embedded with is an organization called DriveAble. DriveAble is a cognitive impairment testing platform, and we've worked with them over the past couple of years, not only to build out their existing tool set to help support their existing product development team, but also to start working on some of their prototypes for new products in the law enforcement space as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's super fun. We like those heady problems that usually take a whole bunch of really smart people at the table to fail a whole bunch before we find something novel at the end.
That's neat. Okay, and why did you start Punchcard, and why did you choose Alberta?
I'm born and raised here in Edmonton, and so I mean, while I do appreciate other parts of the world, I think there's a really unique opportunity for startup entrepreneurs and technology entrepreneurs here in Alberta. We have a tenacity that I think is often unmatched, and we have this ability to bring our community together, which I think is pretty fantastic. As one of the co-founders at Startup Edmonton back in 2012, we were really trying to light a fire within the startup community, and I think now, fast forwarding 8 years, there's so much activity happening. There's so much opportunity in terms of diversification using technology or using tech in general that I don't think I would want to start a business in any other jurisdiction. Granted, I think we all wish that there were better supports, but the community here is so strong and so committed to working with each other that it makes it pretty easy to be an entrepreneur here. And in terms of starting Punchcard, I mean, my partner and I, Eston, he and I, we joke that we're unemployable now at this point in our careers, because as a startup entrepreneur, I don't know if I'd be manageable by other people. But joking aside, we started Punchcard because we built up a whole bunch of talent in terms of product development, and we didn't want to lose that. we had some amazing people that we'd had the opportunity to work with, and we wanted to make sure that they had a home to build really great digital products.
That makes total sense, especially when you have a strong team. The last thing you want to do is see them go elsewhere. So
absolutely,
I get that. And what are you guys growing towards with Punchcard?
Absolutely. So there's kind of two parts to our business. One, working with other organizations to build their own products. In the middle of the crisis right now, this has kind of accelerated our kind of second intent, which is to birth other product-based companies from within Punchcard. It's one of the promises that we're making to our team that will support the development of new things that they have their hand in building, not only to build new opportunities for people outside our organization, but I recognize that we've established a team of kind of entrepreneurs, and in order to keep them excited, I want to make sure that we're providing opportunities that they find value in. So over the next little while, we were planning on launching 3 products over the next kind of 5 years. We've accelerated that a little bit in terms of partners, both in the public sector as well as with other partners. And we'll be launching a few new things over the course of the next quarter.
That is amazing, and really making use of this time that we didn't expect to have right now.
Right. I mean, as much as I would love for our pipeline to be full, just like every other organization, not in Alberta, like around the world, it would seem wasteful or it would seem not prudent to waste a crisis just like this. This is an opportunity for us to be investing in productivity, investing in knowledge, and more importantly, investing in the people that trust their time with us.
That is fantastic. I'm sure your team loves that as well, because they get to see their ideas come to fruition in a way that they've been probably hoping for. So, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we've always made a lot of room for ideation and experimentation. The patterns in which we're traveling right now are maybe a little bit different and probably a lot less comfortable than people are expecting. But now is a great time to be investing in innovation. Now is an amazing time to be focusing on how do we create more opportunities for productivity, and like how do we invest in people who potentially do have some great ideas.
That's cool. All right. And just final question, what else do you think that our community should know about you and about Punchcard Systems?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. There's so much great stuff about Punchcard. And I think, I mean, one of the things that we're trying to do at Punchcard is actually build a brand that's made up of people. And I think I'm so fortunate to work with some really amazing innovators, really amazing developers, designers, product folks. I think one thing that people should know about Punchcard is that it's not Punchcard that builds great things; it's the people at Punchcard that build great things. And I'm so excited to promote the team that I get to work with on a daily basis. For me, I feel fortunate, and I've been able to work with great teams throughout my entire career. And of course, I'm somewhat biased, but I feel like every day I learn a little bit from the people that I work with, and I get that much richer for it. So maybe this is more of a shout out to my team than anything else, but I think the world should know about the team that works at Punchcard, because I feel so grateful to work with them.
Definite shout out to the team, but it sounds like it's a great fit for all of you. So, All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Unless you have anything else to add, that's our intro to your team.
Thank you so much, and thanks for spending the time to ask me a couple questions.
All right. Have a great day.